Hi, my name is Mark Cosgrove, and welcome to another Minute with Mark. Recently, we had World Mental Health Day, which, as you probably know, is a global day about education and awareness for mental health, as well as advocacy against the social stigma that often goes along with it. I'd like to talk about mental health in the workplace. What's your organization doing about it? But you have to start with a slightly more difficult question, which is your organization doing anything that's hurting people's mental health? We spend so much more time at work than almost anywhere else. The number one source of our stress for most of us is work. So what's our workplace doing to either help or hurt our mental health? So how do you know? Well, one quick way to look at it is to look at your employee turnover rate. So what you do, right, is you look at how many people in a department and how many people resign every year and express that as a percentage. Then compare that department to department within your organization, and compare your organization to your whole industry. And those statistics are available online. It's a quick Google search, and you can figure it out. And the reason I say that is because obviously there's all sorts of surveys you can do, and you should be doing. You should talk to your employees, do 360s, have these kinds of conversations. But if you want to do something like right now in the next 10 minutes, then check your employee turnover rate. Because the number one reason that people quit their job is because of their relationship with their boss. At every level, by the way. So if you're a vice president, I'm talking about you and your boss too. People take a job for money, position, travel, power, but they quit a job because the boss. I mean, that's it, right? At best, the boss just might not be particularly competent at helping you see your future in the job. At worst, you might be working for someone who creates a toxic environment, who engages in bullying, who sets people off against each other, who manages just so terribly that you feel that you can't work there anymore. I was recently talking to a friend of mine, and in his industry, at his level, quite a junior level, the turnover rate expected is about 25%. That sounds kind of high to the rest of us, but it's what they expect in that industry. But in his department, it's 60%. I mean, that's insane. A 60% turnover rate means that 3 out of 5 people have left the company within a year. That means in not even 2 years, you will have 100% turnover in that company. And that means, I mean, it's bad news for any kind of institutional knowledge, and it means you're constantly starting from zero again with a brand new employee who has to be trained up. So if you're running that department and you have a 60% turnover rate in an industry where it should be 25, you really need to look at your management style. And if you're the boss of that person, you've got to start working with that manager to help them be better at their job. Because there's only 2 reasons for that kind of turnover. One, your hiring practices are terrible. You're not asking the right questions, you're hiring the wrong people, and as a result, they're leaving. Or you're hiring the right people and you don't know how to manage them. So I'm not saying anybody sets out to be a toxic, narcissistic boss. People don't. The reality is we're just doing the best we can, but sometimes it's not good enough. So what can you do as an organizational leader? Have a look. Look at your turnover rate. If you see a problem, do more work. Do surveys. Get HR involved. Really engage with your employees and find out how can you improve where they work. Because as much as you might think it's not a problem, employee turnover rate is extremely expensive. Get the managers some skills. Because, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, the fact is, just because you're good at doing the thing doesn't mean you're good at managing people who do that thing. When a person gets promoted, that's great. Now teach them how to be a manager and a leader of people who do that thing. Anyway, my name is Mark Cosgrove, and this has been another Minute with Mark.